This is Eagle Owl, and today I will be talking about Brian Baldinger taking a shot at Jordan Davis. Also, Eli Ricks made the roster, Parris Campbell get cut, James Bradberry made the roster. But we're gonna go over everything and let's get straight into it. All right, man. Let's just hop straight into it. So before I talk about the roster cuts and who made it, in my opinion, I want to talk about this tweet that came out by WIP, and they was talking about Jordan Davis, or I should say, Brian Baldinger was talking about Jordan Davis, and he mentioned something about the Eagles roster and about the pass rush, but he specifically pointed out Jordan Davis, and this is what Brian Baldinger had to say. That's my biggest concern on the whole team. I'm concerned about where the rush is going to come from. But you tell me what you're excited about. We have not seen anything from Jordan Davis in 2 years. That's Brian Baldinger saying that. And we know Brian Baldinger has been on Jordan Davis' head since, I would say, the end of last season. Since the collapse started happening, he's like, where's Jordan Davis? He kept mentioning that. And fans start going at him like, oh, he got some agenda about Jordan Davis, this and that. And Brian Baldinger actually responded to a fan. And Brian Baldinger said, I analyze. I never get personal like you. I saw him not touch a QB in the last 10 games. You're really okay with that? I got to admit, I have to admit, Baldinger is right about Jordan Davis. I've been saying this about Jordan Davis for a minute. Jordan Davis, he runs out of gas. That's my only problem with him right now, is that he'll run out of gas. Like last season, he started off strong. People were like, yo, Jordan Davis, he can be a run stopper like we thought, but he was pass rushing. We seen him chase down Josh Allen and things he did in the beginning of the season. But to me, he collapsed like everybody else. Like how we get on James Bradberry, how we get on Hassan Reddick, how the season ended, how we get on Josh Sweat. Just overall, to me, the whole defense just collapsed. You can't even bring up Jalen Carter, but Jordan Davis, like, he looked bad. I mean, James Bradberry got the spotlight, but Jordan Davis looked bad towards the end of the season. After that Buffalo game, he was terrible. I'm not going to lie. But I can't keep harping on it because the whole defense collapsed. So him pointing out Jordan Davis, he do have a point. And he do have a point about the pass rush, but shout out to LB. Because I was watching that Linked Up podcast, which is really dope. And he brought up, the pass rush. And he said, I think we're going to be more exotic. And I seen that, even though the defense is quote unquote during preseason supposed to be vanilla. But I did see some pass rushes I like. Like, I like that we bring in the nickel cornerback. We bring a linebacker to help the pass rush. I don't think we're solely going to rely on the four guys up front, because that's what we did in the past. Relied on them and we dropped everybody else back. And what happened was, if those four don't get there, that's how our defense start getting picked apart. Now I think Fangio, he's even changing his philosophy just a tad bit. Like, I'm gonna bring an extra guy or two to help out the pass rush, because you don't have a Hassan Reddick there. Like, you got a bunch of inexperienced guys hoping they can get there, but why not send that corner blitz that they don't see coming? Why not send that extra backer that they don't see coming? Because we seen Cooper DeJean. I harp on him a lot, but he know how to blitz. Quinyon Mitchell know how to blitz. Then N'Kobe Dean, his strength is going to get the quarterback. I like how they use Devin White. He got a strength for going to get the quarterback too. Even if you want to go Trotter Jr. and Van Sumeren, they know how to get the quarterback. So I like this a lot as far as the scheme changing. But again, just Jordan Davis in general, we just got to see, can he last through the season? Now, like Baldy said, he's an analyst, and what he's seeing is that past 10 games, Jordan Davis haven't been there. Let's see what Jordan Davis can do. I don't think he's taking personal shots at him at all. Like Baldinger is saying, he's saying like, yo, we need to see him step up, because we do. We need to see Jordan Davis step up. Jalen Carter. We got to see what Bryce Huff got. And we also got to see if Josh Sweat, can get back to old Josh Sweat. And hopefully, Nolan can step up as the season goes. So we gotta hope this pass rush work, and there's a lot of hoping it work. So hopefully, like the scheme is sending extra guys to really help out. But I don't think Baldinger got anything personal against Jordan Davis. I think he just got really high expectations for Jordan Davis, and that's why I keep pointing it out, in my opinion. But let's go over this 53-man roster, and let's go over the guys that were waived and released first. All right, so the following players were released. Over in Burks wasn't shocking to me, especially a guy that really wasn't at practice too much. But when he showed up, he showed up. But it was just such a small sample size, so that didn't surprise me. Parris Campbell actually surprised me because they put Anaya Smith and Albert O on IR. I thought that was going to make room for Parris Campbell. I seen what they did as far as the 53-man roster, what I would go over, but I'm really surprised they let Parris Campbell go after putting a wide receiver on IR. Nick Gates, not surprised. Matt Hennessy, Will Greer, Perry Nicholson. You got Julian O, who I liked a lot. And Julian O, as I make this video, he's already scheduled appointment with the Arizona Cardinals, which is crazy. That lets you know his film was jumping. Like, yo, he could really ball out. So he won't be on the market for too long. Then you have John Ross, who I see as a guy as a potential practice squad player. We'll see how that go. Matt Sharpen, not surprised. And Brett Toth surprised me because the Eagles love him so much. And I will go over why that surprised me a little more as well as I go over the waivers. So we have, I'm going to call him GA, was also waived. And then you have this tackle that we signed. I'm going to call him AD, who we signed. The names are a little hard. Then you got running back Davis Price, who I knew was going to get released, not because of his play. Just had the feeling we was going to keep three linebackers. I know the trend. Shout out to Tone. We was going back and forth. The trend is that we always kept four running backs. The past like 3-4 seasons, I'm like, something about this season different. I don't think we're going to do that. We actually kept three. So like Kenneth Gainwell, Saquon Barkley, and Will Shipley. Those were your three. Kevin Funches, who I think had a strong camp, but he came in like middle of camp, was waived. Gabe Hall was waived. Hopefully he could be on the practice squad. Jacob Harris, waived and injured. Jacob Harris, I believe, is the wide receiver. He broke some bones in his face. Ooh. Yikes, man. Get better. Or was Griffin Herbert? It was one of them that broke some bones in their face. And man, oh man. Tyron Jackson, you guys know I love him. Hopefully he made the practice squad. EJ Jenkins was the surprise cut. He was the surprise cut because I'm like, we really going to go in with Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra, and that's what it looked like. Well, you got Albert O on IR, so technically he's on the roster, but I'm really surprised we let go EJ Jenkins. Really surprised. Josh Jobe, Terrell Lewis, Dylan Mahone, that surprised me a lot because we usually don't cut or waive draft picks, but he got waived. Then you had Zach McPherson, Kendall Milton, PJ I'm going to call him that, Joseph Nagata, Lou Nichols, man. I love my guy Lou Nichols. Hopefully he can, be on a practice squad. Jason Poe, Armani Rogers, Andre Sam. Reports already came out, as you guys seen the report as of yesterday on my last show. I said Andre Sam is a potential practice squad guy if he's not claimed. So hopefully, Eagles stick to that. Brandon Smith, Sean Stevens is another guy, a potential practice squad guy. So hopefully, he clear waivers. Then you got Lakin V, Caden Stearns, who is still injured. And you have Austin Watkins, who was waived as well. So those are your waivers, those are your releases. Difference is release players. They can sign to a team immediately. Waive players, somebody has to claim them. If nobody don't claim them, then you could, put them on your practice squad. And usually like vets and stuff like that get released to weigh their options. They like more like I forgot how it go, how many years you have to be in the league or not be in the league for you to go through waivers, but usually it's like vets and stuff like that that goes through like the release. But let's go over the 53-man roster. And something surprised me on the roster, I'm not going to lie. And remember when I told you guys, I'm like, I'm not making a 53-man roster because the James Bradberry thing is the confusing thing. Because I'm like, do we keep him or do we not keep him? And reportedly, we kept him. And I just had a feeling, I'm like, if we do keep him, it's just going to throw off almost everybody 53-man roster. But this is who on there. You got Jalen Hurts, Kenny Pickett, Tanner McKee, Saquon Barkley, Kenny G, Will Shipley, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahad Dawson, Johnny Wilson, and Brenton Covey. Then you have Dallas Goedert and Grant Calcaterra. I believe we're going to get another tight end. It's no way. No way. But the O line is what we went thin at, and I was really surprised. So we got Jordan Mulatto, of course, Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, Mekhi Becton, Lane Johnson, Tyler Steen, Trevor Keegan, Fred Johnson, Darion Kennard, and we went thin. We went thin because you realize I didn't name another center besides Cam Jurgens. Now you have Landon Dickerson who can play center, but I'm not really comfortable with that. Even though I know he can do it, but I'm just not comfortable with that. Maybe if that happens, then you move Trevor Keegan. But I think we're gonna put somebody on the practice squad. Like obviously, if Dylan McCollum is not claimed, I think he's gonna be on the practice squad, and a guy you'll have developing, and then a guy that can come in. You could bring somebody up from the practice squad. So I think we need another center definitely because you're relying on Cam Jurgens who have an injury history, and then you're relying on Landon Dickerson who has an injury history. It's like I don't like that, and even the tight end. Like you're relying on Dallas Goedert, who I believe the injury thing is overblown because it was more like dirty hits, but it happens because Dallas Goedert is hard to bring down. Like Grant Calcaterra, man, he is injury prone. Like it's bound to happen. So I'm not comfortable with that at all. So hopefully EJ Jenkins clear waivers and you can at least get him on the practice squad. So that's how I feel about the O line and the tight end. I thought we should have, went a little bit more heavier there, but we ended up going heavy corner. But let's go over the rest of the roster. You have Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, Marlon T, Marvel Ojamo, and Thomas Booker. Shout out to Thomas Booker, man. Shout out to him for making that roster. Shout out to him because he was the wild card for sure. So I'm happy for him. Thank you for making the roster, man. Thank you for the Eagles doing the right thing because this dude was balling out his mind. Then you have Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Brandon Graham, Nolan Smith, Jalis Hunt, Patrick Johnson. Shout out to Patrick Johnson, man. He's been balling for a long time. This can be the season. If given the opportunity, he can have a breakout year as far as in his terms. Like if he get 3 to 4 sacks this year, that's a breakout year for Patrick Johnson. That lets you know he's on his way. He's a guy that developed and really showed he can be that guy. Devin White, N'Kobe Dean, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Ben Van Sumeren made it. Shout out to Sumeren. Then you have Darius Slay, Quinyon Mitchell, Keely Ringo, Isaiah Rogers. Happy you back, Isaiah Rogers. Eli Ritz, Avante Maddox. Then you have CJ Garner Johnson, James Bradberry. I don't know about this. Hopefully he's a trade candidate, but he's on the roster. Then you have Tristan McCullum, Jake Elliott, Brandon Mann, and Rick Lovato. So that's your 53-man roster. I know the James Bradberry thing is the thing that blew everybody away, but our guy Howie Roseman spoke on it, and this is what he had to say.
He always has had really good football instincts. When you see him play safety every day here and see his ability to diagnose his football instincts, I think for all of us that's a transition. That's a different position than playing outside corner. He's got a skill set. It's a long season. We already know that he's had tremendous success in this league playing outside corner as well. And with the goals that we have for this football team, having a veteran player like that on the roster that we know we can rely on when called upon, we felt like it was important.
I mean, I guess, but I think we're overcorrecting it a little bit is because we knew what happened last year as far as our defensive backs getting hurt. That we had to sign guys off the street. No offense to Roby, but just a bunch of guys, and we struggled. Can't lie, we was one of the worst passing defense, and I don't think how we want that to happen again. And I think he's overcorrecting a bit, just a little bit. Like he's keeping too many guys. Like we keep talking about James Bradberry possibly being traded, but it sounds like Howard don't want to let none of these DBs go because he do not want the same thing that happened last year to happen. He want really good guys on this roster, practice squad, backup. He don't care because he looking at it like, well, these people go down. James Bradberry could still play, so I think is a bit overcorrect in my opinion. But overall, I like the roster. I think again, you can't have the perfect one, but add another tight end, of course, and add another center. But other than that, I'm cool with it. The James Bradberry thing again threw me off, but it is what it is, man. And that's how I feel about the 53-man roster, the Jordan Davis thing. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel, man, about the roster? Were there any surprises or anything like that? There weren't really no surprises that got cut, but there were surprises that that stayed. Like you was able to keep Tristan McCullum, you was able to keep Eli Ricks, you was able to keep Ben Van Sumeren. So I guess going to IR Alberto and Anaya Smith definitely opened up a spot for somebody. But cutting Parris Campbell was a little surprising, but not that much when you kept Jahad Dawson. So, or when you traded for Jahad Dawson. So that's all I got for you guys today. And this is Eagle Al, man. I'm out.